On to this now. iTOO Special Risk says that the tough economic conditions are fueling commercial crime in the country. According to the Underwriting Management Agency, it's because many people are trying to maintain their lavish lifestyles. They're asking businesses to be vigilant and give serious consideration to protecting themselves against the risk that could rise. Crime statistics for the second quarter of 2022-23 in commercial crime increased by 19.9% year-on-year, with more than 28,000 commercial crime cases reported between October and December last year. Let's bring in Jonathan Healy, who's from iTOO Special Risk. He joins us this afternoon via Zoom. A very worrying trend, Jonathan, and thank you for joining us this afternoon, that you and I will be chatting about. But you are in the industry and you engage various stakeholders. What have you found to be the presiding trend when it comes to commercial crimes?
Thank you and good afternoon. We are certainly seeing, as you mentioned, an increase in commercial crime in recent times. We believe that to be significantly linked to the tough economic conditions that we're experiencing in South Africa. Certainly commercial crime is not a new field of crime in South Africa. Reports have historically always put South Africa right up at the top in terms of commercial crime activity around the world. But what we found in recent times is just with the increase in tough economic conditions within the South African economy, people are being pushed more towards commercial crimes in order to maintain those lifestyles that they want, and at times even to attain certain lifestyles that perhaps they're not able to attain just through their basic salaries. And so that is certainly an area of concern for us as insurers who are in the game of protecting companies and businesses against these kinds of losses through risk transfer to insurance.
Another concern, Jonathan, is that they're not very easy to prevent commercial crimes. And I suppose many in the business, like yourself and other businesses, are scratching their heads thinking, how do we curb this rising trend of commercial crimes?
Yeah, certainly. So some of the things that we advise our clients and customers to consider, and of course we work through insurance brokers who are well placed to advise their clients in terms of the risk profiles that they might find. But essentially what you want to be able to do is identify where the potential gaps in your control environment may be. Because what criminals will do is find those gaps, and they will take every advantage to then perpetrate crime where they see gaps in the control environment. And so what we suggest is sort of pre-loss surveys to identify where those gaps in your systems might be, and then to put the necessary steps in place to mitigate those losses. We suggest things like segregation of duties, making sure that there are internal and external audit processes undertaken to identify, again, where those potential gaps might arise, and then to make sure that the necessary steps are taken to mitigate those losses and to plug the gaps that might be in the control environment.
Now, a commercial crime insurance may be a risky kind of business to get into for insurers who are seeing an increase in this kind of crime. But you as iTOO have continued on to offer this product to your clients, but you have made some changes to make sure that the underwriting conditions really are just as stringent as they can be, but also at the same time giving the client the best cover that iTOO can. Tell us a little bit about why that was so important.
Yes, as iTOO, we are an insurance product provider, and we specialize in specialty risk in these kind of complex high-risk categories. And so we felt that we wanted to continue to provide cover for our clients who are experiencing these challenges within their businesses and need the necessary protection outside of the controls that they could put in place, an insurance policy to also help mitigate those potential losses. And so we wanted to maintain our position in the market as the leading crime insurer. So what we have put in place to help mitigate our potential exposures to these increasing crimes is, as I mentioned before, pre-loss surveys, which help to just identify both for our clients and for us where there are potential gaps in the control environment, and to help our clients mitigate those gaps by, prior to a loss having occurred, being able to identify those and to rectify those gaps. We also take very strict reviews of risks when we are underwriting these particular policies, and we make sure that we apply the necessary controls in terms of the language and the policies that we provide to our customers.
And are you confident then that this will turn the tide, because you had seen over the last 5 years a doubling of commercial crime-related claims? Are you confident that that would kind of reverse the impact that we have seen in the economy thus far, despite the economy remaining in the tough times that it's in?
We hope to see that. I don't think that it would necessarily curb the crime that is being perpetrated against businesses necessarily, but it will definitely help to identify where those potential gaps may lie, and to then mitigate the potential of those crime losses being significant enough to severely impact the business. So we do believe that these controls, once identified and once rectified, will certainly help the situation in the crime losses.
Thank you very much for that update, Jonathan Healy, the product champion for financial lines at iTOO, joining us to speak about the worrying trend of increasing commercial crimes, and really what insurers are offering to their clients to mitigate against those negative implications.